Title: The Uncanny Reunion. On a chilly autumn evening, the town of Crestwood was buzzing with excitement as families prepared for the annual fall festival. Varied booths lined the park, decorated with vibrant orange pumpkins, rustic hay bales, and strings of colored lights. The highlight of the festival was the unveiling of the town's new attraction, the Mascot Pavilion, a dedicated exhibit featuring life-size replicas of beloved characters from movies and TV shows. Children had eagerly awaited the event, dreaming of meeting their heroes in person, not knowing that the evening would take a horrifying turn. As night fell, families flooded into the pavilion, the air filled with laughter and the scent of caramel apples. Bright lights flickered above the characters enshrined within glass cases, sumptuous figures like Benny the Beaver from the classic cartoon series and Casey the Cuddly Cat. But the most peculiar thing was that a few characters hadn't made it to the event on time. The place was buzzing about the missing mascots: Flick the Firefly from The Glowworm Adventures, and Lucy Larkspur from The Pixie Chronicles. The townsfolk chuckled, considering it just a silly oversight. However, as the clock struck 8, an eerie chill settled over the venue. Laughter turned into murmurs when the lights dimmed, and a thunderous crack echoed from the back of the pavilion. The glass display cases vibrated, and something shivered within. The shadows began to twist, and the temperature plummeted. Reef, the town's youth leader, stepped forward, urging everyone to stay calm. But with a shrill scream, a young boy pointed toward one of the glass cases, where Flick the Firefly had flicked on his light, wriggling against the confines of the glass. Suddenly, the glass shattered, sending shards flying. With a blinding flash, Flick burst forth, more vibrant and alive than ever before, followed by Lucy Larkspur. The crowd gasped, children screamed, and parents shielded their little ones. But these mascots were not the cheerful companions they had once been. An ominous glow surrounded them, their eyes twisted into manic expressions. Flick's light flickered erratically, as if he were a broken bulb, while Lucy's wings flapped chaotically, shedding sparks as she darted toward the guests. Reef attempted to retrieve Flick, thinking the turmoil was just a malfunction, but the Firefly began zipping through the crowd, setting off explosions of light that caused panic. It flitted to the nearest display of popcorn, igniting it in an inferno of buttery flames. People screamed, some dropping to the ground to shield themselves from the chaos. "Get the children out," Reef yelled, as he fought to keep his own young brother close, while also trying to face the malevolent mascots. But Flick and Lucy were relentless, drawn to their newfound chaos. Flick buzzed and flickered with uncontrolled glee, tugging children toward him with a surreal charm, while Lucy possessed a sinister grace as she swooped down, leaving a trail of sparks that singed the edges of wandering costumes and flowing skirts. Behind them, other characters started to awaken. Marla the Moonbeam from Cosmic Adventures followed closely, her soft voice now a distorted wind, beckoning to the children. "Join us, you'll never have to go home," she shrieked, promising a world of fantasy, luring others into the possessed spell. As pandemonium ensued, Reef noticed an odd figure looming in the shadows, a faded and worn Sylvester the cat. Unraveled like paper in a storm, Sylvester wandered slowly toward Reef's brother, his eyes pained and pleading. "Help me," the broken character whispered, the remnants of his innocence showing through the layer of hostility. Blood trickled down his plastic hands as he reached for the boy. "Stay away," Reef bellowed, urgency in his voice. He grabbed his brother tightly, sensing the danger in the air. "This isn't real," he shouted, his voice swallowed by the sounds of terror surrounding them. Suddenly, a hush fell over the pavilion. All the mascots paused, their glowing eyes pointed at Reef. In that instant, he realized they were trapped in this horrific limbo, animated by the yearning for attention they never got and the neglect that had left them behind. The mannequins hadn't just come to life, they were tortured souls rebelling against their creator's abandonment. Then came the memories, photos shared, cheers for the grandest stories, and Reef knew what he had to do. "We have to show them they're loved," he shouted, squeezing his brother's hand. "We need to remember their stories." With determination, Reef began reciting their adventures aloud, narrating the cherished moments that made these mascots special. Little by little, a flicker of recognition sparked back to life in Flick's eyes, and Lucy began to flutter uncertainly, caught between their desperate longing and the dark chaos they feared. The surrounding fear faded slightly as memories of laughter began to flow in. It took time, and the air remained thick with tension, but as Reef poured passion into their tales, each fondly recalled adventure slowly dulled the madness in their eyes. Finally, a sound, a low and heartbreaking hum, emerged from the characters as they began to phase back, retreating into a realm of what they used to be. With one final reach, Flick pulsed brightly before falling into a soft glow, dust motes settling around him. Lucy curled her wings inward, releasing her frenzy and whispering words of gratitude as she floated peacefully back to her place among the exhibits. The other characters followed suit, returning to their glass cases, locked away safely, but transformed in some way only the young boy would know. Crestwood returned to its festivities, but no one spoke of the peculiar incident that would go down in their history. Except for Reef, who would remember that terrifying night. The true horror wasn't merely in the mascots breaking free, but in the poignant longing hidden beneath their jarring reenactments of joy turned sour. They were not merely missing. They had been made to feel alone. And in teaching them that love was always present, Reef earned their lasting respect, a promise that they would never have to feel abandoned again. And somewhere deep in the shadows of the pavilion, a dark twinkle flickered, leaving a hint of foreboding.